Good morning to everyone. This is Dr. Kausar Unnisa, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce and Management, Government First Grade College, KGF. In the previous session and all, we discussed about regarding to the calculation of mode, that too in this individual series of only inspection method. Let us will go for calculating the value of mode in discrete series, both in inspection method as well as grouping and analysis method. We how to calculate mode in discrete series by inspection method means, so whatever the frequency values are given, among the frequency values the highest frequency has to be considered. Corresponding to that, the highest frequency, corresponding to that, what variable value is there, that will be considered as the model value in case of inspection method, but it is not same in the case of grouping and analysis method. Let us will see the first question given here. Compute the model size of garment from the following data. So they have given both the size of garments and also the number of persons. So the size of garments will be the variables, that is 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 and 32. And number of persons are given 15, 25, 40, 65, 30, 14, 7 and 2. So what we should do means, in case of an inspection method, first we'll have to verify which is the highest frequency. Here the highest frequency value, that is 65. Corresponding to that, the variable value is 28. Therefore, we are going to say that the model value of this variables are nothing but, or the average in the form of mode is nothing but 28. Therefore, the model size is 28. So in the same manner, let us will see for the second question here. Calculate the mode from the following. So here they have given, one is X column, another one is F. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and 12 are the variables. Frequency values are 6, 8, 16, 18, 12 and 6. Among here, in this question, the highest frequency value is 18. Corresponding to that, the value of the variable is 8. Therefore, we can able to highlight very easily that the value of the mode is 8. So this is how we are going to calculate in case of discrete series by inspection method. Let us will see how to calculate the value of mode under grouping and analysis table. See, in case of grouping and analysis table, first we should go for grouping table, next we'll have to go for analysis table. So what are the steps has to be followed in case of grouping table? So here there are certain steps has to be followed whenever we are going to group the values. A grouping table is going to contain 6 separate columns. So 6 columns will be contained here. What are the columns means? The first column contains the original frequency given in the problem. Whatever the frequency values given in the question itself, that will be considered as the first column. And the next column and the next third step is nothing but column 2 contains. What does this column 2 contains means? Frequencies grouped into 2's from the beginning. We have to add 2 frequency together. That is going to be highlighted in column 2. Then what is the next step? That is the fourth step means what this column 3 contains means. This column 3 contains, we should leave the first frequency, then we should start grouping 2 values again. 2 values of frequencies only. So that is how we should group. So in the first column, we are going to highlight the frequency given in the question. In the second column, we are going to group 2 from the beginning itself. In the third column, what we are going to do? We are leaving the first frequency, then we are grouping 2 frequencies together. And the fourth column is containing threes from the beginning. We have to group, we have to total the 3 frequency from the beginning itself. Then the fifth column is containing the frequency. We should leave the first frequency, then we'll have to add the 3 frequency together. At the last, if there is no any 3 values or 2 values during the time of grouping means, we should leave the numbers as it is. If and only if the 3 values are there, then only we can able to add it. If not means, if only the last numbers will be 2 means, we should not go for grouping the 2 numbers. So fifth column contains, leave the first frequency, then we should start adding the 3 numbers. Then the last column is going to contain of what type of values means. First 2 frequencies we should leave, then we should start off grouping 3 values. So first column contains only the frequencies given in the question. The second column contains, we should group from the beginning, start from the first frequency itself. We should group two numbers, add two numbers. We'll have to write the numbers. Then in the third column is containing how many numbers we should add, means two numbers has to be added by giving the first frequency. Fourth column contains, no need to leave the frequency here. From the beginning itself, we should add three numbers. Then fifth column contains, leave the first frequency, then add three numbers. The last column contains, we should leave the first two frequency, then we'll have to group the three frequency. So here the 8 point is highlighting if there is no two or three numbers in the frequency value, so we should leave like that. We should not go for sum the values of the frequency. And after grouping the things, what is the next thing has to be done is, we should go for circling the highest frequencies in the column. We should make a circle to the highest value. Then what we should do, put a column numbers on the left hand side vertically and the value of variables on the top horizontally. After that, what we'll have to do here means, we have to highlight. How to highlight means, the columns numbers has to be highlighted on the vertical side, and the value of the variables has to be located on the horizontal side. Then corresponding to that, the variables of the marked highest frequency as per grouping table. So this thing has to be continued same. So after preparing this grouping and analysis table, uh, let us see how to prepare this grouping table. There is a question. So from the following data on the weights of 200 police constables, determine the model weight. So here they have given the weightage, the weight of the people. One is 116 kg, another one person 120 kg, 122, 124, 126, 128, 130, 132, 136, and 140. And how many number of persons are there means, 8 contains of 116 LGS and 12 120, 10 122, 20 or 124, 40, 126, 44 or 128. Then 48 persons are having the weightage of 130, 12 persons are having the weightage of 132, 4 are 136 weight, and 2 is 140. So with the help of this discrete series, so we have to prepare what means first grouping table. Let us then understand how to prepare the grouping table. So here in the X column, the first column what we have to show here in the question itself, before going to allot column 1, 2, 3, 4 means, the first thing has to be shown what is the variable value given in the question. So as we know that column first is going to highlight what means the frequencies given in the question itself. That 8, 12, 10, 20, 40, 44, 48, 12, 4 and 2. So among these values what we should do means the highest number should be encircled. Then the second column what we should do, from the beginning itself, we should add two numbers, 8 plus 12, this is 20. Then 10 plus 20, this is 30. 40 plus 44. So in between these, after adding these numbers in between, we can go for the value what we summed up can be written here. 40 plus 44 becomes 84. 48 plus 12 becomes 60. 4 plus 2 becomes 8. See, all the numbers are two only. So we have done in the second column. We add two numbers. Whatever the value will get, we have to show here. Again in the second column also, what is the highest number we got the frequency, that has to be circled. And the third column what we should do means, we should leave the first frequency given in the question, then we should go for adding the numbers. We should leave this 8 for the third column. 12 plus 10 it becomes 22, 20 plus 40 becomes 60, 44 plus 48 becomes 92, 12 plus 4 becomes 16. So like this we should add the numbers. Then here also the highest number is 92, so we should circle the number. Then the fourth column, how many numbers should be added means, from the beginning itself we should add three numbers, 8, 12, 10, 30, 20, 40, 44 becomes 104, then 48, 12 and 4 becomes 64. The last one number is left out because there is no other numbers to add, so we should leave as it is. So again after adding it, we should see what is the highest number to circle it. So here it is 104, so we have encircled it. Again in the fifth column what we should do, we should leave the first number, then group again 3. That is 12, 10, 20 becomes 42, then 20. 40, 44, 48 becomes 132, 12, 4 and 2 becomes 18. So again we have shown the values after adding it, and then again we should check which is the highest number should be circled. Then column last, what we should do means we should from the beginning itself we should leave two numbers, then we should add three numbers. 10, 20, 40. It becomes 70, then 44, 48, 12 becomes 104 because there is at last we got only two numbers. There is no three numbers to add, so we should leave as it is. So we have to encircle here also 104. So this much should be done in the grouping table. Let us will go for analysis table how we should do. See, in case of analysis table, whatever the variable values are given, that has to be highlighted in the first row. And next to all the six columns what we have shown here, this first column become first row, second column becomes second, third column becomes third row, okay, fourth row, and the fifth column becomes here. Here the fifth column becomes here 6. So here also we'll have to arrange the columns in the form of rows. The variable values also becomes the first row. So the last will become the 7. Again we'll have to write the total. So how many columns? 6 plus 2, 1 variable, and last will be the total. So total how many rows we have to mark means total 8 rows has to be marked, and depends upon how many columns means depend upon the numbers variables given in the question. Based on that we have to mark the columns for the analysis table. Then how we should mark this one means, so we know that column 1 contains the highest frequency is 48. Corresponding to that, what variable is locating here means in corresponding to the this 48, the variable value is 130. In the first column, the first row, you consider here, then we have to mark where means in front of 130 we should mark 1. Okay, this is how we should go for marking in the analysis table. Next to the corresponding value. So how many numbers we have added and how many after adding which numbers, after adding which frequency values, corresponding to that what variable values are located in the question. The same thing in front of those we should mark the 1. And see in the second column here they have given the highest number is 84. How we got this 84 means by adding 40 and 44. We should see in the frequency column 40 and 44. Corresponding to this, what are the variable values means one number is 126 and another one number is 128. Now in the second row, in front of 126 1 mark we should have. Then in front of 128 variable we should mark 1. That got over. Let us will go for the third column. 92 we have totaled up. How we got this total up? How we got this number means by summing the 44 and 48 number frequencies. By in front of 44 and 48, what are the variable values are located here means one is 128, one is 130. Now we should see that column 3, 128 1 mark, 130 1 mark will have to highlight. Then in column 4, the highest is 104. How we got this 104 means by adding 20, 40 and 44. Corresponding to this, what are the variable values means? That is 124, 126 and 128. Now column 4, 124, 126 and 128 we should mark 1. Then where to mark this column 5 means we should see in the grouping table 132 is the highest. We have encircled this. What are the frequency we added here for getting this 132 means 40, 44 and 48. 40 corresponding variable is 126, for the 44 it is 128, for 48 is 130. Now we'll have to mark 111 where means in on the in corresponding to the variable 126, 128 and 130. This is the column 5th, 126, 128 and 130. Then the last one we'll have to mark now, 6th column, 104. How we got this 104 means by adding the three frequencies. One is 44, 48 and 12. Corresponding to this, the variable values are 128, 130 and 132. 128, 130 and 132. So this is how we should mark the value of 1 in front of the corresponding table, in front of the variable values in case of analysis table. After marking all the values, so what we should do means we should go for totaling. The last column will become total. We should add how many 1 are there in that particular column. So in front of 124 only 1 is there. Here 1, 2, 3. We should total 3. So So in case of 128, we are having the total number of ones are 5. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, it becomes 5. So in 130 corresponding variable, the numbers are 4. So we should mark here 132, the number is 1. Now among this total, now we should check what is the highest number here. 5 is the highest number. So corresponding to that, what is that variable value? Means it is 128. So now 120 is repeated how many times here? Means this is 5 times, therefore the value of mode is 128 LBS. So this is how we are going to calculate in case of discrete series under grouping and analysis table. So with this I am going to end the session. Thank you.